With the 2024 NFL Combine ending, let's talk about some winners and losers in this year's Combine. The first guy, and we're going to start with the wide receivers, is Xavier Worthy. Worthy's obviously the first guy I want to talk about because he broke the 40-yard dash record, running a 4.21, beating John Ross's record at a 4.22. And anybody that was surprised by this, well, now you're aware because anybody who has watched the film on Xavier Worthy knew this guy was explosive and just had a different gear compared to all the other wide receivers in this year's draft class. Here's Xavier Worthy's RAS score, and the one thing that definitely stands out to me the most besides his speed is his vertical jump at 41 inches and his broad jump as well. Those two things stand out the most to me besides his speed. The next winner for me at the wide receiver position is another Texas Longhorn, and that's Adonai Mitchell, who definitely risked his draft stock. A.D. Mitchell, for his impressive size, ran a great 4.35 at the 40-yard dash, had a 39.5-inch vertical jump, and had an 11-inch broad jump. Here's A.D. Mitchell's RAS score, and his RAS score ranks the best amongst wide receivers participating in this year's Combine. A.D. Mitchell was the most impressive prospect to me overall. His size and athleticism for his size is phenomenal. The next wide receiver prospect who killed at the Combine is LSU Tiger Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. at 6'2", ran a very impressive 4.34 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. Here is Brian Thomas Jr.'s RAS score, and as you see, he had a 38.5-inch vertical jump, a 10-inch broad jump, and him and Adonai Mitchell basically had the same type of scorings at the Combine. Both big body wide receivers showed out and showed up at the NFL Combine and put on a show. To kick off the tight ends, let's talk about the man who dominated the most by far at the tight end position at the NFL Combine, Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson ran a 4.57 40-yard dash, which is just blazing speed for the tight end position. Here's Theo Johnson's RAS score, and as you see, he was so close to having the perfect RAS score at 10, but the 3-cone kind of hurt his score right there. Theo Johnson is 6'6", 258, and had a vertical jump of 39.5 inches and a broad jump of 10 inches. Johnson is a tight end prospect in this year's draft that offers elite athleticism, receiving, and great blocking as well. The next tight end I want to talk about is Ben Sinnott, tight end out of Kansas State, who had a great showing at the Combine as well. Sinnott at 6'3", 250 pounds, ran a 4.68 at the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. Here's Ben Sinnott's RAS score, and it is a very high one for the tight end position. He had a 40-inch vertical and a 10-inch broad jump, which is very good for a guy that's 6'3", 250 pounds at the tight end position. The next guy is Devin Cope, who doesn't have a RAS score, but this man ran a 4.47 at the tight end position. And he is undersized, but man, that is explosive for the tight end position. Now we get to the offensive linemen, and only have two guys that I want to talk about. The first guy being Joe Alt. Joe Alt, measuring in at 6'8", had a great 40-yard dash, but the one thing that definitely stands out the most is his 3-cone drill time. Joe Alt has elite athleticism and size for the offensive tackle position. The next offensive tackle I want to talk about is Amaris Mims, big offensive tackle from Georgia. Mims at 6'7", 340 pounds, ran an impressive 5-second 40-yard dash, and he just overall had a great day for his big size at the Combine, and I think he has great athleticism and just needs to be developed at the next level. Now we get to the running backs, and the first running back I want to highlight is Jalen Wright, running back out of Tennessee, who just dominated and had a great day at the Combine. Jalen Wright ran a 4.38, his second attempt at the 40-yard dash, and he just showed great explosiveness on almost any drill that they had at the Combine. Jalen Wright scored in between that 97th percentile, and he just had a great day overall. Like I said, he showed explosiveness and dynamicness in his running ability when he had the football in the drills. The next guy, obviously, is Isaac Guerendo. This guy absolutely dominated the Combine and had the 5th best Combine performance at the running back position of all time since they started scoring since 1987. Guerendo ran a 4.33 40-yard dash. And like I said, Guerendo had the 5th best performance at the Combine since 1987 when they started doing these RAS scorings. He ranks number 5 amongst 17,000 running backs. The next running back I want to highlight real quick is Trey Benson, the big running back out of Florida State. Trey Benson, the 6', 216-pound running back out of Florida State, ran a very impressive 4.39 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, which is in comparison to guys like Breece Hall. Here's Trey Benson's RAS score, and he didn't compete in the agility testing, but he really didn't need to. A guy of his size and his frame running a 4.39 is more than impressive enough. Now we move on to the defense, and we're going to be covering the D linemen and the pass rushers first. And the first guy I want to talk about is Dallas Turner, aka Dallas Burner. Dallas Burner ran a very impressive 4.47 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, and this guy's just very explosive and quick off the line, and you see it on the film. Now here is his RAS score, and the only thing that brings us down is his height and his weight, but truly, this man has elite athleticism and elite measurables. His vertical is 40 inches, but his wingspan is 83 inches, which is longer than some NBA players. He might have been a point guard in his past life. The next edge rusher I want to talk about is Chop Robinson. With such a Hall of Fame name, you knew Chop Robinson was going to score well at the Combine, and he did. Chop Robinson ran a very impressive 4.49 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, which is elite for an edge rusher, and you knew he had to considering the fact that he's a little bit undersized for the position. Here is Chop Robinson's RES score, and his RES score took a little bit of a hit because he's a little bit undersized for his height and his weight for the position. But Chop Robinson offers very elite athleticism and quickness. This is one of the fastest guys I've seen off the line of scrimmage, and he gets to the outside very fast. Now we get to FSU defensive lineman Braden Fiske, who just put on a clinic at the NFL Combine, and he just put himself on the map. Braden Fiske at 6'4", 292 pounds, ran a very fast 4.78 40-yard dash, and this man halfway through yelled, "Oh yeah," because he knew he was running a very fast 40-yard time. Braden Fiske was in that 99 percentile for his RES score, and this man just put on a show, like I said, with his athleticism and explosiveness for the defensive lineman position. I guarantee you right now, this man went up a lot of mock boards because of the showing he put on at the NFL Combine. Now we move on to the linebackers in this draft class, and the first guy we obviously have to talk about is Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson ran a 4.4 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine, and that's really something dope to see because this man has a lot of injuries, especially tearing the ACL in the same leg twice. It's really cool to see this happen. Peyton Wilson's RES score is in the 98th percentile, and it's really cool to see him score this well because this man has a lot of injury history, like I said, and it seems like he's healthy now. Now, the other linebacker I want to talk about and highlight is Trevon Wallace, linebacker out of Kentucky. This guy had a great showing at the Combine as well. Wallace ran a very impressive 4.51 40-yard dash, and this man just showed great athleticism and quickness for the linebacker position, and he definitely went up the boards a lot because of what he showed at the Combine. Now we get to the cornerbacks and the safeties, and the first guy we got to talk about is Quinyon Mitchell, who might have just solidified himself as a top 15 pick and maybe the first cornerback off the boards. Mitchell ran a very impressive 4.33 40-yard dash in the NFL Combine, and as someone who scouted Mitchell a lot, I was expecting a fast 40-yard time, but not this fast. Mitchell scored inside the 97th percentile for his RES score, had a great vertical at 38 inches, and this man just has the measurables and the size to be a great boundary cornerback in the NFL. Jarrion Jones, FSU defensive back, is one of my favorite defensive players in this entire draft class. I think he's going to be phenomenal at the next level, and he also killed it at the Combine. Jarrion Jones is going to be a nickel in the NFL, and this man ran a very fast 4.38 at the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. Jarrion Jones scored inside the 98th percentile for his RES score, and this man definitely went up a lot of mock boards. He is one of my favorite defensive players in this entire draft class, and I think he's going to be a very good nickel in the NFL. Now, Nate Wiggins ran a 4.29, which was the fastest 40 time for defensive backs in this entire draft class, but he got hurt in the process, so prayers up to him. Hopefully he could get recovered soon. Enough for Pro Day. Cole Bishop is the first safety I want to talk about, and Cole Bishop is one of my favorite safeties in this entire draft class. This guy is very instinctive, this guy's very athletic, and he's a field general, and he could cover the whole field. He ran a very impressive 4.45 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine. Here's Cole Bishop's RES score, and as you see, he scored inside that 98th percentile. The one thing that stands out to me besides his 4.45 40-yard dash is his vertical at 39 inches. This guy has great athleticism, and he's a field general at the safety position, and he has every tool to be a great safety in the NFL. Now let's talk about another Texas Longhorn, Ryan Rotz, free safety slash cornerback type hybrid player, but this guy scored phenomenal at the Combine, scoring inside that 98th percentile inside the RAS. But the one thing that stands out the most when you look at his numbers is the vertical and the broad jump. His vertical is 40 inches and the broad jump at 10 inches. Now, before we get to the fallers slash losers in this Combine, I just want to say there's a lot more winners and a lot more players that performed really well at the Combine. I just simply can't get to every player, and I don't want to make this video extremely long. The first guy is Cameron Kitchens, and this guy has fallen off a lot. At one point, this man was considered maybe the best safety in this entire draft class, but his performance at the Combine definitely took him away from that. Kitchens ran a very surprising 4.65 40-yard dash, which is something I wasn't expecting because when you watch the film on him, he flies around and makes plays. Cameron Kitchens also measured an inch shorter than we all thought as well. Another guy that didn't have the best showing at the NFL Combine is Penn State cornerback Kalen King, and this man at one point was considered a top 10 cornerback and maybe to some even a top 5 cornerback heading into this NFL draft. Kalen King ran a very slow 4.61 40-yard dash for a cornerback. and had a very slow 20-yard split and 10-yard split as well. King, who's already undersized for the cornerback position, needed to score very well in the combine and just did not at all. Now, the next guy I want to talk about is Ennis Rakestraw Jr., cornerback from Missouri. Now, he didn't score well at all. He didn't run the best 40-yard time at all by any means, but the one thing that catches me by surprise the most is his measurables. I thought this guy was 6'1" or 6 foot, but it turns out he's only 5'11", which is just average height for a cornerback. I thought this guy was a more lengthy, taller cornerback prospect, but it turns out he's really not. Now, the last guy I'm going to cover, and to me the biggest faller in this entire draft class in the combine process, was Bucky Irving, running back out of Oregon. Bucky Irving already being undersized in terms of height and weight for the running back position. We needed to see him show explosiveness at the combine, and he just simply didn't. Usually smaller running backs like Bucky Irving show great acceleration and explosiveness, but Bucky Irving is just lacking explosiveness, and it was in display at the combine. Now, this is one of the guys I really do like, and I'm rooting for him to be a really good running back in the next level, but we need to see more explosiveness and acceleration from him this combine. Anyways, that's the end of the video, fellas. Let me know what prospects I missed. I know I missed a lot, but I just didn't want to make this video super long. Let me know if you guys liked the video, and let me know what prospects you like the most and what player you're banking on to become a Hall of Famer.